So the year is coming to an end. At the time of recording, at least, you may be watching from the future. But regardless, if you're like me, and most people, you like to reflect on the year once it's almost over. You like to go over everything you've achieved, all the fun times you've had, and you look at perhaps what needed improvement and turn this into a goal for the new year. This year was unlike most previous years, though, 2021 and 2020. It's perfectly fine if you didn't get much done this year. Gyms and businesses were shut, making it tougher than usual for most people to make fitness and financial improvements. So if you didn't get too far, or where you'd like to be this year, don't worry, run it back next year. At this rate, we should be somewhat back to normal. I was fortunate, however. My 2020 wasn't too flash. I mean, I did alright, but I absolutely killed it this year when compared to last. So, without further ado, here is my list of achievements for 2021. Number 1, starting my full-time job. So, I've had one other full-time job in my life. From December 2019 to March 2020. I was a graduate accountant for a small public practice. I lost that job due to the current illness. It hurt, but hey, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I actually did interviews for this job back in December 2020, and I received an offer late December 2020, on the 18th to be precise. But I officially started in January of 2021. This is a massive accomplishment for me. The job I've studied for basically my whole life, from primary school, which leads to high school, which leads to university, which leads to my accounting degree, and I have finally started it. I'm quite proud of this accomplishment in particular. Number 2, securing a promotion and securing my career path. So, 6 months into this job, my probation ends. This is my first accounting job where I've lasted past the probation date. My first part-time junior accounting role, I lost it just before the probation date, and this was due to some implications with my internship at the tax office. I can elaborate in another video if you wish, just leave a comment down below. And my second job, as mentioned before, I lost due to COVID. I was only there for about 4 months until, the virus hit. So this was the first time I'd survived past probation. I was stoked, but not only did I last past the probation period, but I also received a promotion and a pay rise alongside it. My first ever official promotion and pay rise. Technically, I have received these from Woolies, but the pay rises were due to me getting older, the whole adult wage compared to the child wage thing. And I have been given more responsibilities at Woolies over the years, but nothing properly official. This has also secured my career path, as now I'll have experience in the field no matter what happens. Even if I was to lose my job tomorrow, I've basically got 12 months experience in an accounting role, making it significantly easier for me to get another job if things go south. Another fantastic achievement if I do say so myself. Passing 3 exams and further cementing my resume credit. So this year I passed 3 exams, alongside full-time and part-time work and everything else. These were CTA 1 Foundations at the Tax Institute, which is a core unit for becoming a chartered tax advisor, Ethics and Governance at CPA Australia, which is another core unit, but this time for becoming a certified practicing accountant, and Digital Finance at CPA Australia, an elective unit that relates to the ever-changing world of finance and the technology based around it. I've made another video on this if you're interested, and it outlines my experience with it. I started CTA 1 Foundations early November 2020, but I finished it on the 2nd of February 2021. My exam was on this day, and it overlapped with the first CPA subject. But hey, we still got it done. Partial credit goes to 2020 since half the unit was studied during this time, but crunch time was in 2021. As for CPA, I enrolled in this late 2020, but I didn't start it until 2021. Not much to say here that isn't already obvious. It was a hard road studying and working. Once again, partial credit goes to 2020 for enrolling me into this and setting it in motion, but 2021 definitely holds majority of the accomplishment. Passing 2 units is also a solid effort, I must say. 1 unit per semester, although this is the norm. Some people take longer breaks between subjects. Some do one subject per year. Some do one subject over the span of 3 semesters, whichever works for them. But as for me, I'm proud I managed to smash out 2 CPA units in my first year enrolled in the course. We're now 2 out of 6 units down, and 1 CTA Foundations unit to add the cherry on top of this cake. Working part-time throughout all of this. Yes, alongside working full-time and studying for 3 exams throughout the year, I also worked part-time at my supermarket job. I practically worked most weekends, except for some here and there due to exam leave, and some just due to general annual leave and public holidays. I mean, the same goes for my full-time job. There were obviously some days off I had here and there. But the fact a 5-day work week was rare for me throughout this time is an accomplishment in itself. All that lost time that could be spent studying, and I still managed to juggle my studies. Feels good, man. Feels good. Learning about stocks and crypto and signing up for platforms to start investing. So, in recent years, I was always aware of the existence of stocks and crypto, but I never really knew much more than that. In 2017, I had signed up to Coinbase and invested in some Bitcoin and Litecoin, as my gym partner at the time would always talk about it. It was some fun back then. I recall only investing about $750 in total, as at the time, I was only really doing about 20 hours a week at the supermarket. Not a lot of income flowing in. I had also signed up to Plus 500, a trading app that I had seen advertised everywhere on social media. You know, the ones that pop up before a video or you're scrolling through Instagram. At least I think that's how I found them. I'm not sure if there was that many ads around back then. Regardless, I put another $750 into this. I think most of it went into Amazon. At the time, Amazon wasn't that big in Australia, so I didn't know much about it. I had seen it mentioned in one YouTube video I was watching, how some guy briefly mentioned he recommended investing in Amazon, and I'm like, yep, that's enough validation for me. Of course, now I know much more about stocks and have a lot more exposure than I once did. But for some reason, that account went to $0 after a few months. My friends had warned me that Plus 500 wasn't buying the actual stock. It was more so betting on the price or something. No, I don't know. See how much I knew about stocks back then? So I lost all the money I had there. To add insult to injury, the crypto market turned blood red. A bear market. So that was the end of my investing for that time. At the time, I'd never heard of hodling, or the fact that it may go up, or buying the dip, or anything of the sort. So fast forward to 2021, I'm not sure how exactly I got back into it. I think maybe I was looking at some other videos of people talking about their experience working part-time or a second job, as I like hearing about people who are on the same grind as me. And maybe in one of the videos, it was something along the lines of other income ideas, and they mentioned stocks. So I slowly started doing some reading/research on them. My same friend from the gym who introduced me to crypto back in 2017 also started talking about crypto again. And my first crypto purchase of this year was $350 of Dogecoin thanks to Papa Elon. I heard about this through some of my uni friends on Snapchat, and from there I slowly started buying more. At first, I just bought some coins with some cool names that I liked. And turns out a lot of these had some practical use applications that have gone up since then. See my crypto video, Crypto, My Current Portfolio, Binance and SwiftX, 30th of May 2021, for me giving an outline of my crypto portfolio at the time. You'll note in the video that I say something along the lines of, I don't know what these do, it's essentially reckless gambling. True. Other than Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum at the time, I didn't know much about any of the other cryptos or what they did. But if you're immersed in the crypto world yourself, I'm sure you've seen the hamster slash guinea pig or whatever the animal is, who picked crypto coins himself, and the coins outperformed some professional investors. That may not be the whole story, but it's something like that. The point is, this is essentially me, just picking some random cryptos and they just happen to go up in value. Of course, now I know what they all do, and I am taking profits as I see fit. I've spent the whole time talking about mostly crypto, but as for stocks, I've signed up to several platforms like Vanguard, Spaceship, Raise, eToro, and maybe a few others, but those are the main ones. However, I'm not with Raise anymore, purely because I don't have the money to spread across evenly across all of these platforms, and because my custom Raise portfolio was the lowest performing of all these platforms. I'll rejoin once I have more disposable income. So, my investments. I learnt all about how time in the market beats timing the market. I learnt about how investing in a broad index fund slash ETF is better than trying to day trade and even swing trading. How a basic index fund beats 90% of hedge funds, yada yada. Essentially, I learnt all the fundamentals, and that's all you need. As the year has gone on, I've slowly done research on some other stocks and invested into them individually using eToro. I'd use Robinhood, but it isn't available in Australia. But I've got the important knowledge down, which is something I did not have before 2021. Investing your money provides greater returns than a savings account, whereby your purchasing power decreases and your money loses value due to inflation. I consider learning about stocks and crypto an important part of becoming financially literate, which is an amazing skill to possess. Gym progress. So, throughout all of this, I still managed to keep a relatively healthy diet and kept up with a training routine of around 4 gym sessions per week. Tuesday was upper body day, Wednesday was leg day, Friday was upper body day, and Saturday was leg day. This is constantly changing now, as it's usually Saturday and Sunday that are training days instead of Friday and Saturday, but the Tuesday and Wednesdays usually stay the same. Some weeks, the training days were Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday due to working all day Saturday and then having some social event of some sort on the Saturday night. But for the most part, it was 4 days a week. Sometimes life happens and you only train 3 or even twice a week. But as long as you're mostly consistent, you'll see results. There were times where I took weeks off the gym, example during the exam period, or sometimes where I only went twice a week on purpose due to gyms being shut, so I had to use my home gym, which doesn't have all the equipment I need. But overall, a solid effort towards my fitness this year. I didn't really set any all-time personal bests, but considering how much extra I have on my plate now, and how I always have to train after a 9+ hour workday, I'm happy with the results. Back in the day around 2017, 2018, and 2019, when I was still at uni, it was easy since you'd sleep as much as you want and have the appropriate pre-workout meal and pre-workout supplement, take sufficient time to warm up and get into it. Even 2020 working out from home was easier since you'd also have sufficient rest and more calories. I was eating, no joke, around 5,000 to 5,500 calories a day during last year's winter. No wonder I got heaps stronger and weighed around 92.7 kilos at my heaviest. But nowadays, working 7 days, having to study and work out after being awake for about 12 hours by the time I get to the gym, my energy levels aren't exactly primed for some PBs. Pre-workout is not an option either. I don't do caffeine anywhere close to my bedtime. In fact, I barely do caffeine at all, but my goal isn't powerlifting anyway. It's bodybuilding. Although progressive overload is a big component of bodybuilding, which is getting stronger through mechanical tension, it's not everything. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. You get the point. I didn't do as well in gym this year as I once did, but I did pretty well given the circumstances and my focus and priorities in my other aspects of my life. Buying land and a new car. Now, buying a car It is somewhat of an achievement. I do like it, but I had to buy it anyway because my old car was falling apart day by day. I had it since 2015 and it was secondhand, so it was well overdue. I'm just chucking this here as I know it's a big deal for a lot of people, and it's a nice little addition into this year's accomplishments. As for the land, though, now this is a huge deal. The idea first popped up in my head around late August. I was talking to my friend about it, and I had noticed how the government was unlikely to raise interest rates until 2024, once they had inflation under control around the 2 to 3% mark. I also knew the prices of land were appreciating about 100,000 per year in some areas. I also knew there was so much debt in Australia that it wouldn't make sense for the government to drastically raise interest rates soon to curb the growing prices. So I was like, better get into the real estate market soon, since I doubt any pay raises I can get will keep up with the price of land/housing. If I wait too long, I'll be priced out of the market. So, as luck would have it, an opportunity to buy land came up. So what you do is you ask to hold some land, you pay a $1,000 deposit to hold it. Once the engineering plans come back to the land developers and they begin, well, developing the land, you pay a 5% deposit. Then once the land is done, you pay the entire amount, which is when you'll need your loan. You can buy land years before you actually need to pay for it. At the time, I can't afford the entire amount, but it'll be ages before it's ready. As long as I don't stuff anything up majorly at work, as long as I don't lose a heap of money on stocks and crypto, I should be safe. So land, another big accomplishment in this year alone. Starting this YouTube channel. So starting a YouTube channel isn't the hardest thing to do. You make an email account, sign up and make an account. Simple enough. Most people have a YouTube channel. Well, more so a YouTube account. They just use it to subscribe to their favorite channels, like and comment, etc. 70% of watchers aren't subscribed. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Yada yada. Shut up. Oh, I've heard that so many times. Anyway, most people don't put up videos on their account. They feel too shy. They feel like they can't bring anything to the table. Or maybe they simply just have no need or reason for it. But nonetheless, I feel this is another huge accomplishment. Starting the plunge in creating this channel and getting started with creating YouTube videos could be the start of something grand. I've already bought 2 microphones, a small $30 one from Amazon, and the other is a solid $160 one from JB Hi-Fi, which is what I'm recording with now, to help with the recording quality. I'll probably eventually pay for a video editing software as opposed to using the free Windows Movie Maker. It's all right, but it doesn't allow me to create the high quality content that other YouTubers can make. I know some other channels like Grade A Under A and Casually Explained aren't the highest quality either, and their videos are fantastic, but I'd prefer if mine were up to a higher standard. Just gotta practice and feel it out. I also can't spend too much time on videos at the moment, since, as already mentioned, I'm already working 7 days a week, studying for CPA half the year, and doing gym things, as well as the odd social event here and there. Hence why my videos are just like pics related to what I'm talking about and me doing a voiceover. I script my videos and I record them, which takes up most of the time. But eventually I'll try to turn them into like something like those channels I mentioned before, where they aren't just motion videos or anything, but they have more movement. But for now, I just got to test the waters and get used to the scene. Much the same as someone starting out in the gym, you probably don't want the best workout routine or the best diet starting out. Sometimes you just need to get into the groove before you find your footing. Extra self-improvements. Another thing I achieved this year was discovering the usefulness of laser hair removal, Botox, and mewing. I've had 7 laser appointments this year and 2 Botox injections, as well as starting mewing, although I've only started mewing very late this year, but it's something I was unaware of at the start of 2021. Laser hair removal has made shaving way less frequent, my neck hair is less coarse and comes back not as quickly, and I never realized Botox could just reduce aging, as opposed to just giving that fake enhanced appearance look you see on most fake models. But I've used Botox to reduce the wrinkles that have been slowly accumulating on my forehead over this year. I count this as a W for the year, since if I didn't find this stuff till later on, the treatment would be less effective slash more expensive in the long run slash or bit of both. The laser is also a W because the less frequent shaving causes less shaving rashes, since as a gym rat, I want no hair on my body to obviously show off the gains, and I never want a neck beard. They're good to hide a double chin, but, aesthetics gym rat here, not a power lifter. So that's an outline of my biggest accomplishments this year. Please let me know what your accomplishments for 2021 were. Comments are good for the algorithm. Shut up. Shut up. I'm actually genuinely curious. I love seeing other people on that grind and making progress. 2021 was fantastic for me, but the job's not finished. Run it back. That is all.